morning and welcome. I am not on the homestead today. I am chicken sitting for our neighbor. They had to go away, so I am watching their chickens and collecting eggs, and probably for a week. I think they said that they'll be gone. She'll text me when she's coming back, but I'm gonna get these girls fed and watered and make sure they're all set for the day, and then I'll just come back later on and put them back in. All right, so let's get going. Alright guys, my job is complete here. So I will see you back on the homestead. Alright, now that I am back on the homestead, I am back in the garden. It seems like this garden never ends, but I do have good news. The zucchini seeds and the squash that I planted last week are already coming up. Take a look at this. Actually, those are looking really nice. Just about every single hole has some sprouts in it. And that's just about a week of planting. But my goal today is to trellis up some cucumbers. When Eric came home this weekend, we actually were able to put up some more trellis, so we got the whole 2 cucumber rows of trellis up. So let's take a look at that. So this whole row down here, and then this one on this side, we got trellised up. So what I need to do now, because we got so much rain yesterday, I didn't have an opportunity to get out here. I need to trellis up the cucumbers that are really growing. So I'll set you guys up and we'll get going on that. All right guys, before I can even start trellising, I forgot I need to fix this fence. Now it's a little loose and kind of stretched out when we put it on here. So it's a little bowed in the middle. But we found that if you take pliers and twist in between, I don't know if you guys can see that, twisting the fence with a pair of pliers, just like that, it tightens the fence up. So I am going to get this tightened before I start the trellising. Alright, that's not perfect, but it is definitely a lot tighter. So it's not so bowed over where my cucumbers are going to be laying down on the ground. So let's get trellising. Cucumbers trellised. So I do have some cucumbers that are starting to come up, ones that I planted last week after I planted the squash, which is super nice because it'll give us a second harvest of cucumbers. So take a look. That is what the row looks like now, all the way down. There is a bare spot over here because I have some smaller cucumber plants that aren't quite ready to be trellised yet. And then some teeny tiny baby ones over here that I had to put new seeds in. But overall, not too bad. Normally, I would weave my cucumber vines through it as they were growing. But because the cucumbers took off so fast, we didn't have time to get the trellis up. But now that the trellis is in, I figured this would be our best option. So I guess homesteading, you use what you got. All right, guys, the next project I have is to tie this fence back. It's where it overlaps where we stuck our trellising in, and it's kind of sticking out, and I don't want anyone to get caught on it, especially myself, because I'm in here a lot. But I need to get these tied back. I ran out of zip ties, so I am just going to use some string. Alright guys, so this is the last one. This is the biggest overlap of fencing that we have, but it really needs to get tied back because someone's going to get caught on it. So just going to get that tied up, and then we'll be moving on to the next project for today. Next project of the day is to clean up this mess over here. This is where we dumped all of our T-posts because we knew that we were going to use them in the garden again, but we didn't anticipate all of these weeds growing up around them, which kind of makes it a little scary getting the T-posts for the garden, because there could be snakes in there, and I'm not really a big fan of snakes. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm not. So when I walk through here and I have to get T-posts, it's a little scary. So I'm gonna get rid of all this tall grass to make it a little bit easier to maneuver all of the T-posts out of here. And the reason that we dumped them here is because we knew we were gonna use them in the garden area for our trellising, but we decided to put them in a walking path where we weren't going to grow. And we took out all of our trellises pretty much at the end of fall because we knew we were going to switch our rows and put different plants in them just because of bugs, and we wanted to make sure that we were switching our rows so that they had different crops in them. All right, so I'll get you guys set up and I am gonna start weed whacking.
On my own, but I don't know why. You hit the road, but you don't realize I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone. Don't hesitate to call me back, 'cause I won't be there. I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone.
Alright, so now that the garden area is pretty cleaned up, I'm gonna work over here along the gazebo. Eric did a really good job of mowing, but didn't get to the weed whacking. So the gazebo is a little overgrown around it. So we're just gonna get that out of there, and that'll be it for weed whacking today. Alright guys, well, the battery ran out, but you really didn't miss anything because I couldn't get the weed whacker to start again. So we're moving on to a new project. So right now we're looking at this conduit line right here, which our electric fencing runs through. So that popped up out of the rocks, so I need to bury it a little bit deeper. So I'm gonna get on that and set you guys up. Alright guys, line is all buried. I am going to find some shade and get another drink. Like I said, it's pretty hot out here. It's probably already 90 degrees and it's maybe about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So I might call it a day today, but I will definitely see you tomorrow. Good morning guys, and welcome back. It is a new day. It is bright and sunny out here, but it's beautiful. It's not too hot, there's low humidity, and the temperature is only supposed to reach the middle 80s today. So when I was out here in the garden this morning checking on some of our crops, I noticed that there was a lot of squash bugs already. So I have some diatomaceous earth that I'm going to dust onto our plants and see if that works. I also did some other research, and a lot of people were talking about mixing a dish liquid mixture with water and spraying that like at dusk, because you don't want to spray it. Well, this is what they're saying. This is the research that I heard. You don't want to spray it when it's bright and sunny out because it could burn all your leaves. But I want to try this first and see if this works. So I'm gonna get those dusted and I'll get you guys set up. Alright, technical difficulties. I must have taken the duster that has been cracked. See that crack right there? So it's not working the way that I want it to, so I need to go find another one. Alright guys, that was the last of the dusting. So I hope this is gonna work, because last year the squash bugs were not this bad this early. It wasn't till later in the season. But I can always try another method and see if that works. But what's happening is they are destroying my plants before they can even put on fruit. Let's take a look at one that they totally destroyed. So this guy is not looking very good at all. They pretty much have decimated that one. But I do have other plants that are producing fruit. So let's take a look at this one, because this one actually has a squash that's ready to pick. So we are getting some fruit, but I'm really done with the bugs already. So hopefully we can get rid of this. All right, guys, I went down to go check on the dogs and they decided to join me today. So here's Bailey. And Rocco's over there somewhere. Oh, finding a spot to lay down. All right, so while I was down there, I heard a big truck and a lot of beeping and realized that they were here to drop off another batch of mulch. And I had just missed it, but look at this pile. So that is coming in handy. We are using it to mulch up a bunch of different places, especially in the greenhouse, so I can keep the weeds down. We're using it to fill up some holes that basically we didn't get to earlier in the year. And we're also mixing it with our compost. So I think we're gonna be pretty set for the year. All right, so one of the things that I need to do today to get ready for market is organize my plants. What I like to do is have all my plants on one table ready to go into the truck for the market. So I have some flowers here and I have some herbs. I just need to make sure that they're all marked. All right, I came up with about 3.5 trays of plants to bring to the market tomorrow. A lot of the stuff that I'm leaving so that I have for other markets. But let's take a look at what we have. So this is a zinnia plant. It's in a bigger pot and it's just starting to bloom. So that's gonna be really pretty. These are some pink celosia. I have some white and yellow marigolds. So they have not bloomed yet, but those are beautiful. I had those in my garden last year. These are snapdragons, and those have not flowered yet, but there'll be a mix. And then in this tray over here, I have a mix of herbs. I do have some leeks left here, but I have some peppermint, spearmint, some bee balm, some lemon balm. I also have some catnip over here, parsley, and oh, this little guy right here, some thyme in that tray. In this tray, I have some more pink celosias. These are just single pots, but you can tell when you up pot them how pretty they bloom and they spread out. So this one has more flower blooms on it than just the singles that are still in the 6 cell trays. And this is a tall celosia from the Eternity mix. I didn't realize that they would get so tall, but that's okay, it's still pretty. Then these guys back here are sunspot sunflowers. They're a dwarf variety, and that one right here is going to start to head. So those would be beautiful when they're in bloom. And these little guys over here, these are also a dwarf sunflower, but these are called teddy bear sunflowers. And when they bloom, they're going to have a big puffy yellow bloom on them. So I can't wait to see those. Those will be beautiful. Then this half tray over here has fennel, cilantro, basil, and some rose mint. All right, so I'm gonna move on. I need to harvest some cilantro out of my bucket so that I can use it for my salsa. Alright guys, now that I am back in the camper and I'm ready to make my salsa, I already cut up everything and processed all my tomatoes, so those are in the pan already, so I'm just going to add the ingredients. But I also decided, since I was in here, that I'm drying herbs that were left over from the market. So right now I have rosemary in the dehydrator, which is super nice because those are some of the things that I have a hard time getting to. But it's amazing what you can accomplish when you're in a tiny little camper in this small kitchen. I'm also going to be working on packaging up my eggs for market too. So let's get all the ingredients in the pot and let that come up to a boil. right, guys, I think I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all of your support that you give us on a daily basis. I also wanted to remind you that you can hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It really does help us out, and it doesn't even cost anything. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.